Okay, so this is the part 2 of the Millennial Development Goals for Colombia. Scott here is very excited for part 2. So, like I said, Scott, my project is on Colombia. What do you know about Colombia now?
A lot of stuff.
That's good. So, I'm reading off my program about the 8 Millennial Goals for Colombia with Scott. And he knows some stuff because we talked last time. So we're going to start out with goal number 1, to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. For what you know about Colombia, do you think it has hunger issues?
Yes.
That's probably a good thing. I'm just going to check the camera quick, see if it's right. Okay. It is right. Okay. So, yes, it does argue with hunger. And if you can see the picture, we actually have several Colombian kids sitting on the floor eating stuff. So Colombia has been struggling with poverty for a long time. Many people in the country earn less than $1.25 a day. The UN wants to reduce the current number of people making a small amount of money by 50% by the year 2015. The chance of this scale is about 40% chance of actually happening. The reason it's so low is because the U.S. has already given to Colombia an equivalent of $1 billion US, and the people are still in hunger. So do you think $1 billion would help out Colombia?
No.
No. Why not?
Well, if they want to help the poverty of it, I mean, there's a lot of people, isn't there?
It's true. Yeah, Colombia actually has several million people. But if you had to give Colombia $1 billion, how would you think that they should use it?
Maybe jobs, creating jobs, maybe.
Yeah. Well, basically what they did, they just handed out rice and a few other projects. So, do you think it's kind of an analogy of giving a man a fish, you feed him for a day,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what they did with Colombia. They just they gave him a couple of fish and they're like, hope that helped, guys.
I want more fish.
So sometimes those projects don't really work out as well. And okay, so that was target A, was reducing that money, and this was just another example I gave. What last time was in Ethiopia, a country in Africa. Poverty has declined from 45 to 27% in the last 16 years. And Ethiopia is actually kind of changing more rapidly. The nice thing about Colombia is that they do have a really good GDP for their government. It's actually quite high. They specialize in medicine and rare emeralds as well as rare wood, and they're a big producer of opium as well as poppies. Do you know where poppy seed and opium goes to?
Muffin factory?
Yes, Scott. Poppies obviously go to the muffin factory. That's where a lot of them go. So, you ever heard of a thing called Oxycontin? It's probably a good thing because it's actually like a hardcore drug, and that's one way that they're using poppies is to make Oxycontin, which is pretty much a pretty highly addictive drug. But they use it in hospitals for something better than morphine. So technically the drugs can be used for good, but do you think that they're always used for good?
No.
No. So Colombia has a lot of times where I know it's hard to believe, they actually sell to America not Oxycontin, but heroin, cocaine. It's hard to believe.
All the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Bad stuff. Okay, so that's some with their poverty and hunger, and they deal a lot with they have a lot of ghetto kind of places. Like you have a lot of people who are really wealthy and you have people who are really poor. That big separation gap. Okay, so goal number 2 is achieve universal primary education. Do you think most people in the States go to at least primary school?
Yeah.
So in Colombia, that's like a big problem for them. basically like, especially girls, like they go to like primary school, but they have a really hard time to get into college and stuff. But it costs a ton. So do you think that investing in a country's education would be worthwhile?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna check the camera again real quick, so I don't die. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that's a big issue with Colombia and their education system. Okay, so that, and it's another picture of another bunch of Colombian guys, and like I said, with Colombia, many citizens don't make like $6,000 USD a year. It's like good for them, and they're trying to raise that just so the kids can go to college. If you had a choice between, or Scott's girlfriend's actually Honduran. If her family had to choose between feed the family and sending her to college, which one would she pick? Yeah. So the same with Colombia. You know, feed the family or go to college. You know, they're going to try to feed the family first.
You can eat a book.
I've tried eating books, but they're not that tasty.
No.
Okay, so the third part is promote general equality and empower women. There's a picture of several Colombian women. Do you think that one looks empowered to you?
Oh yeah.
Kind of scary. So, besides the clone look of the soldiers, of female soldiers in Colombia, do you think that females serving in the military would help empower them? Kind of scary ways.
Yeah, I kind of guess so.
So Colombia's actually not that bad with women in equality. Scott, like I said, Scott's dating a Honduran girl. So do you feel that Spanish women are pretty empowering, or do you see there's more doormats?
In some Central American countries, they kind of, the woman's like second to the man, so I guess more like a doormat.
Yeah. Well, see, I served in the Philippines, and it was like opposite. Like women, not by doormat, I mean like they're kind of low key. And Philippines,
Second role.
they were definitely not second role. They were very up in your face. In fact, many Americans get Filipino mail order brides, and they expect like this calm little assertive woman. Filipino women are not that. That's not how they act. So, like Colombia, I assume is like Honduras. They're pretty open about what they want, but they're pretty supportive of men as well, which is fine. But they can serve in the military. So let's move on to goal number 4: reduce child mortality. So with Honduras, did you notice a lot of malnutrition?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Colombia struggles with this a little bit. There's about 16 deaths per 1,000 births in Colombia, and the UN's hoping to raise that about 70% by the year 2015. So, and they actually have a pretty good chance to do it. Their healthcare's come a long way. Like I said, they have pretty easy access to medicine. They actually sell in the United States a lot of medicine, so it's pretty cheap there, which is nice for them. The only problem with it, they do tend to get addicted to certain substances, so they have to watch out for that. Okay, so goal number 5 is improve maternal health. Do you think Spanish women are pretty healthy usually?
Oh yeah.
That's good. Yeah, Colombia, they're pretty healthy too. It's about 92 deaths per 100,000 births, which really isn't that bad. I mean, it's still bad, but it's better than most. So, like I said, their hospitals are improving. You can see actually a Colombian hospital actually looks pretty close to ours. So they're improving. Okay, and then goal number 6 is combat HIV and AIDS, malaria and other diseases. So what do you know about malaria?
It's bad.
So in Honduras, do you guys have a lot of malaria?
There's quite a few actually there.
Yeah, so in Philippines too, we had dengue fever. We had pretty much everything Honduras and Colombia had, just because it's humid, wet, it breeds a lot of bad stuff. So the big thing they're trying to do right now in Colombia is make sure everyone has mosquito nets. UN's invested a lot of money in that. HIV is not really a problem in Colombia. It's pretty low right now. It's like 0.5%, so nothing like the African countries we've studied. And so, like I said, their hospitals are improving, so that's going to help them. Okay, so their next one, goal number 7, is ensure environmental stability. Did you notice in Honduras, like they cut down trees a lot and burn things?
Burn things, yeah, but they didn't really cut down.
Well, Colombia's not really like that. Like I said, here's a picture, and you can see, Scott's seen this before, but they clear out huge amounts of trees, and the trees there are worth a ton. It used to make guitars and stuff, but like I said, Colombia's part of the rainforest, Amazon, so the trees are huge, worth a lot of money over there. But however, the drug wars have been slowing down the production of wood just because it's dangerous to go in there right now. So
It's a problem.
yeah, it's hard to cut down trees if you're getting shot at.
Yeah.
So that's one thing Colombia needs to work on, is their environmental stability. They're cutting down a lot of forests to make room for other stuff, and then the United States government will bomb that stuff, so it's kind of counterproductive to them. The United States is actually dropping certain chemicals that kill their fields. In case of certain they grow certain crops out of it. They used to make illegal drugs with them. Not the hospital drugs, but the legal drugs. They try to destroy them. So these wars have been going on with Colombia for a long time. So you can't really grow a field, have it be destroyed, and try to make money. So, okay, so our last one is develop a global partnership for development. The UN goal would be for Colombia to basically make pharmaceutical companies more worldwide, and that's really helping Colombia out because they actually are trying to get more trading. You actually see this map of global trafficking, and they're sending products all over Europe and America especially, because they're the highest consumers of prescription medicine right now. China is too, but America and Europe really use a lot. So, and Colombia is closer to America and Europe, but I'm not saying it is far. Okay. Anything else, Scott, you want to know about Colombia?
No?
And I think that's good. Thank you.